Hello everyone, it's time for the Plym Peacemakers demonstration video again, and in November we're going to be doing the tutor box number 2, which is called double hexes. So it's this one here, probably looks backwards on screen at the moment, and this one is one of my favourites. It produces a hexagon shape, but you don't have any Y seams, so it's really good fun. So let's get started. So this is the first sample that I made using the double hexy pattern, and this one is waiting to be quilted. But you can see you've got these hexagon shapes, and depending on what fabrics you use, you can either get like a solid looking hexagon ring, or you can get this one, which is quite jazzy. And then on this sample what I've done is mixed it up with some plain triangles so that they're sort of floating. So that's the one I did before, and today for the demonstration I've got some Christmas type fabrics lined up ready to use. So I've got some green fabrics there that I've already pieced. You need 1.5 inch strips that you sew together down the length, and then we're going to cut them into triangle wedges like this one. And then if you take 6 of them, you get your hexagon shape formed. And this is, as I say, with the variations that you can cut, you get different patterns, either this version or the solid version. What we would then do is arrange them how we want them. So don't go ahead and join your hexagons, because then you're going to be left with Y seams to put them all together. So we're going to join them in strips, as you can see. Join a strip coming down, and then the next one, so that we've only ever got to sew straight seams. So that's really good. So I'll get my ruler out and we can cut the triangle shapes. I've got one of the creative grid rulers, but you can also use your normal ruler to cut these triangles, or if you've got a triangle template you can use that. So I'll get the options out now and we can take a look at it. So I'm going to run through some of the different rulers that you can use to cut these triangle units. We've got several different options here, and as I said before, you can just use your normal ruler because it should have a 60-degree line marked on it. And so if you place your 60-degree line on your fabric strip, you can make your cut, and then this is where I always go wrong. We turn it over with your 60-degree line again, you can make another cut. Now what helps here is if you just leave 1/4 of an inch there when you make that cut, then it'll match my other units here. So yeah, you can use your normal ruler, so there's no need to buy a specialist ruler unless you really want to. The options I've got here are this one, which is a equilateral triangle. This one's made by Simplicity. I do like to buy all these different ones, or I've tried them all over the years. And again, you can make your cut there. So again, you can see that they're the same. So that's another option. There's this one from Creative Grids that I bought ages ago and I've hardly used, but it does work for this, and this is the one that they used when they wrote the instructions for the tutor box. So that's that one. I don't think I'll get another one out of here now. No. Don't waste that piece because it might make a good filler in unit at some point. So the Creative Grid one, this enables you to cut several of these things all at the same time. So with this one, make sure you've got your strip nice and straight, and this one involves cutting up and down, and you get multiple units at the same time. So that's the Creative Grid one. Another option some of you might have is this one from Crafty UK, which is the hexagon snail trail, which I think is really useful because you can make half hexagon shapes and these triangle units. So as you can see here, we've got our first cut here lined up. Now if you flip it over and then line it up on this line here, and then you got the second one to make your triangle, and then if you flip it back up the other way, throw your ruler on the floor. Sorry about that. Make the next cut. This one's good because you can chop off these little pokies. That's another one. And we'd all better beware the dog barking because the window cleaner's just arrived. So we've got that one. So those are your different ruler options. I'm going to make some more strips. It's surprising how many hexagons you need for this. And then I'll start playing around with them to get them where I want. Got different fabrics here, so we could end up with a nice scrappy looking one in a moment, or you might want to try and keep them together. But I'll carry on and see what I come up with. So I've made a few more units, as you can see, and I've started playing around with a design layout, and I'll continue doing this. Now this ruler from Crafty UK is actually really good for this block because it allows you to cut these half hexagon shapes that fill in, so you can space out your hexagons a bit more, or you can just join them all up and see where that goes. If you haven't got one of these rulers, you can of course just cut out extra triangles and just piece them to give you that layout. So it's coming along. I wouldn't sew any of these rows together until I've come up with a layout that I'm happy with, and then I'll join the strips together to get some rows, and then join the rows together but yeah, you'll end up with Y seams if you start joining the hexagons too soon. So we want to just get a layout and then start joining it together once we're happy. So this is how we've got on today with the Christmas hexie pattern from the tutor box, and I've joined my half hexagons into strips. So the next thing would be to join these strips together. You can see the patterns formed. I'm quite pleased with it, how it's turned out. So yeah, the next thing to do is to join these together, and then I've got some border strips that'll go around the edge. I'll need to trim this all off square to put the border on, but that's that version coming along. And I have also done another version which is over here. So this is the cheat version, I think you could call it. I've joined some of them together so I've pieced some of the units. As you can see, there's a seam there running through, but I chose this striped fabric because I thought I could pretend that I'd joined them, and I think it works quite well. So some of them are, that's one that's been pieced, so that's a pieced block. But if you look at this one, that's just the striped fabric. So that's another version, and some of them are plain. So all I've done on this one so far is join the half hexie units, and then once I'm happy with the layout, I'll join the rows together. I've got extra units because to make the rows square, you put this one, which would be a unit, you put it each end so that squares up that end. And a lot of these extra triangles will get joined on the bottom, so that when you square it off, so yeah, they join on the bottom, so that when you square it off, you're not losing the blocks. You just put the extra triangle units on the bottom of each strip. So yeah, I've got a few more to join over here, a few more to join for the edges, and that'll be Christmas Mark II on the hexie layout. So yeah, I'll carry on and do that. You don't need to see me sewing, and I'll come back when I've joined those rows together. So I have got now as far as I've actually joined these two on the end, and all the other strips are done, so you can see how it's going to look. So that's my I'd say the second version. It's the second version of this I'm doing today, but there's also the orange one I did first of all. So I'll carry on now and join these together. So this is the first version for today, nearly done. Just need to trim the sides and then add the red border strips, and then that one will be done, ready for quilting. And the one underneath needs to be joined together. So I haven't done too badly today. Of course, we've still got the original orange one that needs to be quilted, but maybe I'll get them done before Monday, who knows. So this is the finished block for the tutor box number 2, and this is my Christmas version, and I'm quite pleased with it. There's a few joins that could be better, a few intersections where they could have been done better, but on the whole I think that's pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how well everybody else gets on with it. Here are the finished hexie samples from tutor box number 2 from the Quilters Guild, and this one was using the striped fabric, and some of them were pieced and some were just cut using from the striped fabric. So that one's quite different, quite a modern looking sort of Christmas one, that one. These still need to be quilted, but yeah, you can see that's the back of it, and if we zoom in you can see some of the blocks. Quite happy with it. I like the spotted border fabric that I found. So that is the blue version, and there's also the Christmas red version. I have no idea which way is up on this sample that I've made. Matter of choice, I suppose. Again, this one has got some space in between the hexagon blocks. Some of them are a solid hexagon shape, two-tone. Others are, they look like they've got the radioactivity sign in the middle of them. So yeah, that's the red one. We won't look too closely at the back because it's probably a mess. So yeah, that's that one. And finally is the first one I made, which is the orange one, orange and blue, which was Alice's choice of colours for the Modern Guild Challenge a few months back, and so I made this. It still needs to be quilted, but I think of the 3 I've made, this one's probably my favourite. Be interesting to see how other people get on with the tutor box this month. I'm not expecting to see many finished samples by Monday, and I doubt that I'll even have time to quilt mine because I've got to spend the weekend doing my City and Guilds homework. But I have enjoyed it, it's been good fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Thanks. So you saw me demonstrate the half hexie using one of Andy's templates, which was the hexagon snail trail ruler, and I just thought I would share with you these Christmas placemats that I'm making. And there's the ruler. So these placemats are made using Andy's ruler. The ruler cuts out the triangle units which were used for the hexies, and also half hexagons and strips, and so you can get this lovely snail trail block, and these are my placemats that I'm making, so they're quite pretty. Another variation on an Andy template. So yeah, they should be a nice Christmas gift for somebody. one of the other templates that I've been using of Andy's is called Square Triangles, and it makes this nice friendship braid pattern. So yeah, starting there in the centre, and then the braid comes down, and I've used that to border a quilt for my sister for Christmas. So that's another thing you can do with the template sets from Andy. That was just a little addition to our tutorial video, but sometimes interesting to show you what the templates can do. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you at the Teams meeting on Monday. Thanks, bye.